people, it is your girl T, and I'm back to do a color along in Fairy Miracles by Clara Markova using Mitsubishi Uni Colored pencils. These colored pencils are great color pencils, but there are not a lot of videos out there with people using them. So I decided to do a second video coloring in Fairy Miracles. The first color along I did was in a Hannah Lynn book, which is on Create Space paper. So we're going to try using them in a smoother paper, a better, a better quality of paper that you'll find in these Clara Markova books. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see here. The page I've chosen to do, I've not colored anything in this book, so this will be the first picture. I'm going to work on this page right here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And so for the first section, or the first video, I will be working on this, hoping to finish the whole mushroom, just the mushroom, not any of this flowers or anything, but just the mushroom itself. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to start with the mushroom stem here. And I'm going to start with Beige 520. I'm also going to use on that section Gold Ochre 553 and Brown Ochre 556. Okay, so enjoy. I forgot to put my page here, so, and by the way, if you guys hear background noise, just disregard it, please. I'm in my dining room tonight, so you might hear some noises. So basically, I'm just putting the first layer using the 520 Beige. And it's just a light layer. I'm not pressing hard because this paper is a little bit smoother. But I can tell you right now, I absolutely love the way these pencils are gliding across this page. It's very smooth. I'm not pressing hard, and the pigment is loving this paper. The pencil is too. So yeah, I like that. All right, so I'm gonna get up here. So sorry to hear about all of the deaths from the tornadoes that happened last night. It's very sad. I have a Facebook friend who, you know, from my Facebook group, who is down in Alabama, and they lost a young child in their community. So it's very sad. We need to keep those people in our thoughts and prayers. When natural disasters come, it's so hard, you know, to, first of all, you never know. I mean, they can tell you exactly where they're, you know, that you need to take cover, tornado watch, warnings, whatever, but you just never know. Like, is it really over here? Like, where is it? And just like having that anxiety, like when that happens, like when you hear those warnings and stuff. I don't know if you've ever been in one of those, but like when we were having the hurricane here in North Carolina, it rained relentlessly for days. And I mean, you hear like tornadoes here, tornadoes dropping here, all around us. But it's like, okay, you don't even want to go to sleep because you don't know if we're tornadoes coming or what. And here where I live in North Carolina, we don't have sirens at all. You have to basically rely on the news and, you know, weather radios and stuff like that. So it can be a little bit more difficult trying to take cover, you know, if you're not really sure where exactly the tornado is. Is that near me or what? So I really feel for the people who've been affected by this. And it's really sad. But here we just have right now, I mean, last night it rained so hard. I was like, oh my gosh, please don't tell me we're going to have the same thing going on as Alabama and Georgia and all those places. Luckily we didn't. So that was great. That was good, but not so good for them. Anyways, today was a typical Monday at work. I had to do some audits. I audit my staff and I had to do some audits. I had to do timesheets, all kinds of good stuff. So it was a typical Monday, but it wasn't a bad Monday. It was pretty good. And then I went out to lunch with one of my coworkers, and we went to have, I think you call it pho. I always want to say pho because P-H-O, I'm just thinking pho, but I guess it's pronounced pho. And I don't know if any of you have ever had pho. It is delicious. And it was such a perfect day to have that because, you know, it's cold, it's rainy, cloudy, so like a nice, big, huge bowl of soup, fresh ingredients. I had the chicken one, which was pretty good. I'm not too big on soup, you know, things being too spicy. So I didn't, I only put like 2 jalapenos. And even those 2, it wasn't too spicy, but it was just enough. And I know if I would have added all of the jalapenos that they give you, I would probably have thrown it all in the trash because I don't like super spicy food. So yeah, so that was pretty good. And then I had a boba, what do you call those? A snow bubble. There you go. I had a snow bubble, which is like it's like a milkshake almost like, but it's not really a milkshake. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Anyways, I had a bubble tea, snow bubble actually, and it has they give you this big straw because it has tapioca balls at the bottom, and you know, when you drink this, these huge tapioca balls come up the straw. I like that tea. It's really good. I had a mango one today. And in California, in San Diego, where I'm from, they have these, I forget the name of the, little shops that have these tea. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go home and I won't be able to have it anymore. Because every time I go home, I kind of like act like a tourist. Like I want to go here, there. I want to go get certain food items. I want to eat certain foods while I'm there. And because I know when I leave, I'm not going to be able to really find that stuff back here in North Carolina. So of course I have to have Filipino food because I love Filipino food. I have to have Mexican. California Mexican is a lot different than North Carolina Mexican food. And I go to the Mexican bakeries and get like all the pastries and stuff. And I actually you guys are gonna laugh, but I actually get Tupperware containers and I pack this stuff suitcase. So I kind of like bring extra suitcase just for all my goodies. And hopefully I can take them, like some of the things I just go ahead and pack and put them, you know, to check. But there are some things that I try to get, you know, in my carry-on bag. So, but anyways, you guys, this pencil on this paper is great. Okay, so that was Beige 520. Now I'm gonna go work with Gold Ochre 553. Just want to make sure I'm still in frame. I wasn't at the top, but do apologize, y'all. Let me pull this down a little bit so I'm going to be in frame the whole time. All right, so. But yes, guys, I am a Californian at heart. I love where I live here in North Carolina, but you know, I love California just as much. So when I go home, it's always a treat. And the good thing about it is, since a lot of my family, like most all my family live there, I don't ever have to pay for a hotel. I get to stay with family, and that's always a plus. Save some money. So that's always good. But yeah, so I just like to go home and, you know, visit with family. And usually when I go, I don't ever really have that much time to visit with friends. It's so hard to try to get to see friends when you're, like, you come home maybe twice a year and your family really wants to do a lot of things with you. You know, you can't, it's hard to kind of fit, you know, friends in. So I try, but I'm not always successful. Like the last time I went, I really wanted to hang out with some of my friends, but it was kind of a short trip, really, and kind of last minute decision to go celebrate my grandfather's birthday. So I just wanted to be there because he's getting up in age, and we don't know how much longer he's going to be here. So I wanted to, you know, I just wanted to spend some time there with family celebrating him. So, you guys, I can't tell. I think this is the ground. So I'm going to leave it down here. You guys can't see that probably because I'm out of frame. But, yeah, so I wonder if any of my viewers are from California, or my subscribers are from California. If you are, let me know in the comments where you're from. I'm from Dago. I went to Sarah High School. Anybody knows about that school? It was a cool school to go to. But yeah, I love going home. I love it. The only thing I don't like about going home, guys, is the flight. It's a long day flying out that way. And when you have little kids with you, or a little kid, sometimes it can make it even longer. Because one thing I do not like, and I don't know if anybody else is this way, I do not like using bathrooms on the airplanes at all. First of all, the bathrooms are super duper tiny. And it's like a 5-year-old can fit in the bathroom. But you think I'm going to let my 5-year-old in there by himself using the bathroom? Because I'm so picky about touching stuff. I don't want him touching anything in there. So here I am trying to squeeze myself in that bathroom with him. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's like, you know, if someone's handicapped or something like that, how are they supposed to use the bathrooms on the airplane? It's just ridiculous. They got to do something about those bathrooms on the airplane. I know they have to have certain sizes and all that kind of stuff, but they really got to do something to make those a lot more user-friendly and family-friendly, because they're awful. But anyways, my little boy, he loves airplanes. So anytime we fly, I always say, hey, let's go to the bathroom before we get on the plane. Oh, I don't have to go. I'm like, yes, come on, let's go. So I make him use the bathroom before we get on. But of course, he's going to be like, I got to go to the bathroom. As soon as we take off, when they say you're free to move about the cabin, here he goes. I want to go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, really, Christian? Can you hold it? No. I'm like, oh. So here we go, gallivanting off to the bathroom. And he's got a big smile on his face. He just wants to see like what it looks like in there. And, you know, he's like really curious about how things work. So he was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, please, Lord. So we had to go, of course, and I'm like, don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. And so he like smiling, having a good old time in the bathroom. I'm just like, hurry up, let's get out of here. You know, planes moving all this way, that way. I just don't, you guys, I just don't like these bathrooms. They're horrible. So if you're watching this, anyone who works for the airlines, can you guys kind of like patent something new for the airplane bathrooms? Because they are garbage. They're no good. Yeah, so that's my airplane rant. Other than that, it's okay. I just don't like flying too much, but that's the fastest way to get anywhere. So you just deal with it. So yeah, so okay, that was coloring with gold ochre 553. Now I'm gonna go and do some shading with the brown ochre 556. Yeah, so yeah. Airplane traveling is not fun with kids. I just sometimes want to go get on the plane and just put my headphones on. I don't even really like talking to people when I'm on the plane. I just want to put my headphones on and like color and just relax till I get to my first, part of my journey. Usually I have one stop, and yeah, so, but yeah, my kid he loves airplanes, and one trip he scared the mess out of me. And I think he scared a bunch of other people too, because he was looking out the window, because of course they want to have the window seat, they want to see everything. And he was like, I think the wing is broken. And he was so loud. I was like, what? Shh. I think the wing is broken. I'm like, what are you saying? He scared the mess out of me, y'all. Because, kids, they kind of have they know things sometimes. And I was like, what? The wing is broken. And I'm looking out the window. I'm like, Christian, no, that's just a flap. It goes up and down. Oh my God. I think the people in front of me and the people back of me were all looking out the window like, what does he see that we don't? What is this kid seeing? But yeah, so I told him, don't say that. You whisper it to me because you're going to scare people. So, but yeah, he loves flying. And I'm glad that he's not afraid, because, some people are really afraid to fly. And you can tell because they just have this nervous look on their faces when they're flying. So, and you can imagine sitting next to a kid, you're nervous. It's not fun. And me, I'm the courteous parent. I'll go to the back of the plane. You don't have to, especially if you're flying Southwest, you can sit where you want. And, when you have children, you get to board after, I think, business class and the A's. So you kind of get really good choice of seats. So if you ended up with a B, you could still get a good seat. But I don't know, flying with kids is okay. But I'm one of those parents who sit in the back just because I know sometimes, he might get loud, or I just rather be close to the bathroom because I know he's going to say he's got to go, and I don't want to walk all the way down the aisle and then someone gets up in front of you and you got to go back because you can't stand in the aisle. So it's horrible. So I typically just sit in the back because it's just so much better. And I don't care that we're getting off last or anything like that, because in most cases I don't have to have like an hour or so layover, so I have plenty of time. So yeah, that's my traveling stories. I do like when I travel, when all of us travel together. A lot of times it's me and my little one, because, you know, my husband has to work. He may not be able to go to California when I'm going, so I'll take the baby with me. And he's 5, but he's 6 now, but I'll take him with me just so that they don't, you know, my oldest and my husband don't have to, you know, try to figure out, oh, how we're going to pick him up from school and all that kind of stuff, because I do all of that. So it's just better for him to come with me. But yeah, so flying is fun when you're by yourself, no children. But I just sit in the back because I don't want him to disturb anybody. And I think I've seen in that trend too, because the last time I flew was a lot of parents with their little ones in the back. You know, and since they're all kids and they're all going to be kind of loud anyways, hey, let them just all sit back there. But you know, some people like sitting up front with even with their kids, because they just want to get off the plane fast. Depending on, you know, their layovers or lack thereof, they want to make sure they get off in enough time to get to their next flight. So yeah, but anyways, that's my plane stories. So right now, again, I'm just using the brown ochre 556, adding a little shading. I think I'm going to add another darker color over this too. I'm not pressing too hard. The paper is taking the layers pretty well. I like the way it glides on here. Now, I think that these pencils are great. They're great pencils to have. If you like a hard pencil. If you don't like hard pencils, then you may not like these, because they are kind of hard, meaning the lead. So this brown ochre, I just wanted to give a little bit of shading in here. I'm trying to get this, it's blending okay. You just really have to work that. And you know, depending on what pencil, there's a lot of pencils where blending is not always that easy. You really do have to spend some time, you know, blending. So, but tomorrow at work, we're going to be having recognition, and we're supposed to be watching a movie. It's like movie night or something like that, but movie afternoon. We're going to be watching a movie and having pizza and popcorn, candy, and all that, you know, movie stuff. And they just do that to show, like, you know, employee recognition, just to show that they appreciate us and stuff like that. And typically we get to leave early afterwards, but we're not leaving early tomorrow. So I think a lot of people, especially and probably in my group, we're not going to be too happy about that. Oh, we don't get to leave. No, not tomorrow, y'all. We are working till 5. So we will see how they react to that. For the most part, they'll just make their one little couple complaints, and then of course they'll have to go back to work. They can take PTO if they want to, but we are definitely not off of the clock. So that'll be fun. That's tomorrow during our lunch. We're gonna take lunch together and watch that. I forget the name of the movie we're watching. It's like the golden years of Sex and the City. That movie. Oh yeah, The Book Club. It's called The Book Club. And we, like, in my department, in my organization, we have like 3 guys. And they're probably like, I don't want to watch that. But like most of the votes are women, so we had to vote on it. So of course, since we're majority women, like 3 guys, their vote pretty much didn't matter at all. And one of the ladies, like, it just so happened that her son had PTO, like took the day off on that day. He didn't do it because of the movie, but it was like, he just looked out. He's like, whoo, good, I don't have to watch. I don't have to watch that. But you know, some guys like chick flicks, and some guys don't. They don't want any parts of it. So we'll see. I think these guys are pretty sensitive. Not sensitive like in a bad way, but you know, they wouldn't mind watching it. Watching a chick flick. They're both married and they have wives, so they're probably used to it. And sometimes they probably have no choice because the wife says we're watching it. They're gonna watch it. So yeah, so that'll be interesting tomorrow. We're gonna have a nice kind of a lunch, 2-hour lunch, and we'll be watching a movie and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go over some of these areas with a darker brown because I just wanted to be a little bit darker on these edges. We'll stand up and see because sometimes I have to get up and take a look. The video looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna go over this with some more cream just to get that. Let's try that. So I'm gonna go back, I'm not cream, but beige 520. I'm gonna go back in here and try to fill in some more of this. See how that does. And this time I'm gonna press a little bit harder. Yeah, I think I like that. But I'll probably still put some darker brown in here. So I won't go over that too much because I don't want it to be burnished. I'm gonna press a little harder. Yeah, so looking forward to tomorrow. It's gonna be a nice day. Our temperatures are supposed to drop down to the 20s tomorrow night, so that's gonna be a cold night. And we have wooden floors, and unfortunately they're not heated wooden floors. So I'm just like, oh God, it's gonna be cold in here. And I hate to turn the heat up too high because when we turn the heat up, you know, like 75, it's cooking in some of the rooms. So, and everybody's always complaining, it's hot, it's hot. I'm like, gosh, put it on 73 then. And for me, 73 is cold. I'm from California. I don't like to be cold. I don't. So I'm always the one wearing like the long sleeves. I'll have on my socks, my thick socks, or I'll have on some fleece pants, those kind of fleece pajama pants, and I'll be the one in the blanket with all of that on and a blanket. Because I just don't like being cold. So my husband's from the East Coast, so he's used to the cold weather, so to him that's kind of like nothing. But for me, that is just too cold. So like when I go to work, they kind of laugh at me. They're like, "You look at you," because I'll have like on a down jacket, the ones that go like mid calf almost or mid thigh, and I'll have on my snow boots or those like UGG style boots, and I'll have on, you know, my pants, and I'm just bundled up. I just look bundled up. And they'll look, oh my gosh, look at you. I'm like, it's cold. What do you mean, oh my gosh, look at you? Look at you. You must be cold. Because I'm warm. But yeah. So it's going to be a cold one tomorrow night. So if you're in North Carolina, you're going to be experiencing that probably too. Stay warm. Stay warm, y'all. Okay, so here I'm just adding some more of this pretty beige color. Just to see, yeah, I like that much better. I like that much better. Okay, So now I'm going to just try to go with a little darker of a brown. I'm going to do, let's see. Okay, I'm going to use Dyke Brown. I was going to use sepia, but I think that's too dark. Okay, I'm going to go with Dyke Brown. And I'm going to try to get a little bit darker up in here. Add a little bit more brown to that. So right now I'm going to be burnishing a little bit because I want to make sure this gets on, because this will be like 3 layers up here. Yeah, I want to do a little bit more shading in there. So yeah, you guys tell me where you're from. If you're not from North Carolina, California, that doesn't matter. Just tell me where you're from. Tell me what great state, city and state you're from. You want to share anything special about that place that you're from? What they're known for. You know, most places are known for something. Yeah, I think this brown is helping a little bit. Just a little bit. See, I'm burnishing now, so I don't want to do too much because I don't want to mess this up. Just going to put a little bit in here. Just a little bit. Then I'm going to come down here underneath this first flap. See, it's not taking any more pigment that well. It's just going to like gum it up, so I'm going to have to work that. Yeah. So press a little harder. Not too hard because it'll start gumming it. Just like right there. Lucky me, I have a long nail. I can scrape that a little bit off. Remember, these are synthetic. A synthetic material made specifically by Mitsubishi. So, you know, they're probably going to react different on different paper that you're using. This is my first time using them on this paper. So I know now, just by doing this mushroom, that 2 layers is probably going to be enough for this paper with these pencils. Christian? I think I heard my little son. Sometimes when I put him off the bed, he likes to get up and like open the door because he hears me talking. You guys, he wants to make a debut too on the channel. He wants to do a coloring video with me. So I think I'm gonna do that. Because we have a book that we color in together, and believe me, he doesn't like to color all the time. So getting him to color is awesome because he'll say no in a minute. No, I don't want to do that. It's boring. But then there are some times where he wants to sit with me and do coloring, especially when I let him use my good stuff. So we were coloring, and I was letting him use my Faber-Castells, and he was just I can use yours. I'm like, yeah. So if you color with me, you can use them on these pencils. So that was my little way of getting him to do that. So he's like, Mommy, I should come on your video and say hello to everyone, and we can color together. I said, okay. We'll set that up maybe on a weekend when you can stay up a little later, or we can do it in the afternoon. He wants to have his own YouTube channel, but not for coloring. I don't know what he wants to do. So I'm just gonna darken this up in this area because I just want it to be a little darker down here. But like I was saying, I think 2 layers is gonna be all you can really force out of this paper with these pencils, unless you work very, very light, probably no pressure, you know, very light. You could probably get more if you have a really light hand. My hand can get heavy sometimes, but I usually try to color light, especially with certain pencils, because I know that they, how they react on certain paper. This is my first time using it on this paper, but it's kind of acting like the other page I did. It's not taking too many layers very well, so I just want to work light. So add some darkness here in these little creases, because that one color is not really showing up that well since I went over that with cream. So just add very lightly. So probably will not finish this mushroom tonight as far as the top. So this is probably going to be it for tonight, just doing this part of the mushroom. Again, the color I'm using right now is 561 Van Dyke Brown. And just going and trying to give this a little bit more shading and stuff in there. Now I know people ask, I've seen questions, or how do you know what colors to use? I'm the type of person who I just pick up a color, and usually that color is the color I use, and then I try to use colors that according to the color wheel will complement the color. I try to stick to those rules, but sometimes you can go outside of the rules, but you just got to make sure that they're not too, I don't know what word I'm gonna want to say, like you don't pick colors that are going to be muddy. So but that's how I don't have a thought process to picking colors. I just pick them, and I kind of try to just go with it, go with the flow. And that doesn't really help anybody, but for suggestions, I would suggest that if you're looking for help with how to select colors or palettes, I would suggest just type in, Google palettes, color palettes, because there's a lot of great color palettes typically used for interior design, because I went to school for interior design. There's a lot of color palettes out there to help you with that, but those same color palettes you can use to, color in. Say you want a color palette for summer, you can just look at all of those beautiful palettes, those colors that people have placed together, and you can take those same colors and find them within your color pencils and use those same colors. So, I would admonish you to try looking there for color inspiration as well. Just looking at palettes, just Googling palettes and stuff. So I've come to realize that coloring and talking can be hard, because I'm focusing on this, coloring this page. I'm like, okay, what I just talk about? That could be old age. I mean, I'm not old, but I always say that. I'm in my 40s. I always say, oh, that's old age when I forget something. I just forgot what I was like. Oh yeah, color palettes. So yeah, color palettes. So if you guys need help with that, again, just Google, Google palettes, different types of palettes. So I think I'm not going to mess with that too much more. I'm probably going to go over that a little bit with the beige, just to kind of blend that in, make it a little smoother. Let's see. It will take another layer for me. It's looking all right. It's looking okay. All right, so I'm going to go back over this with beige just to see if it'll blend a little bit for me. And it is a little bit. So we'll just have to be happy with that, because these pencils are not going to layer too much more on this paper. Even though it glides on really nicely, if you're going to use more than one color, pick 2. And I think 2 is going to be the max unless you color very lightly. And I was only able to get 2 to 3 because I started the first layer really light, not pressing hard on this paper. Okay. So again, probably 2 to 3. 2 to 3, maybe max 2 if you wanted to not start burnishing. All right. Okay, so, all right, so I think I'm not going to put too much more dark. I'm just going to finish this here in the lines, and then I'm not going to do it with the brown ochre. I'm going to go straight with the Dyke Brown up in this area because it's not layering the way I want it to. So I'm going to bring this down, and we're going to work up here a little bit. Going straight with the Dyke Brown. Oh. Does anyone else have this beautiful book? There's some awesome images in this book, you guys. If you don't, I know sometimes these books can be expensive coming from overseas. So you have to save up, and sometimes when you've saved up, they're not in stock, and that kind of puts puts a damper on those wish lists when you're trying to get certain books and you can't even get them. That's happened to me. That happened to me when I was trying to get Serene, you guys. I was so distraught. I was like, how did I not get a copy of Serene? And I reached out to Nick, and he was like, well, they're not publishing any more of them, but they were going to have a new one coming out, Irene. And he said, did you want to be on the list for that one? I said, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and put me on the list for that. So I was lucky to get on the list for that one, you guys. And that was only because I was inquiring about Serene. So I was like, wow, I'm not going to get that book. So I just started, I don't know, I think I went to Etsy and I was like, somebody's got to have this daggone book because I want this book. So I went on Etsy, and lo and behold, I forget who I bought it from, but she was in the US, and she had a copy of the book. Now I had to pay for it, of course. A nice pretty penny. Of course you have to pay for the book, but I'm saying I had to pay a pretty penny for the book. But that book was so worth every penny. It's absolutely gorgeous art in there, and I just had to have it. So, but yeah, so getting some of these books can be a pain, especially when they're not publishing, they're out of print, they're not publishing anymore. People are charging like $100 for a book that they only paid, like maybe $30 for. So, then you have to weigh your options. Do I go by this? Do I just forget it and move on to the next thing, or do I go ahead and spend that money? So being a colorist can sometimes also be, it's fun, but it can also be bad for us because we'll spend too much money on things, especially if we just feel like we gotta have it. So you guys see this up here? I don't like how this is acting. So I'm gonna go over that with a cream to see if I can blend it a little bit more. I'm not even pressing hard. And it's just not doing too nice. But I'm gonna, you know, the thing with coloring is you gotta work through these things sometimes, and I'm working through it. It's getting on my nerves right now, but I'm gonna work through this, and we're gonna still have a nice picture, I think. All right, so now I'm gonna go back over that with the Beige 520, just to see if I can get this to blend a little better. And it looks like it is good. All right, and then I'm gonna finish this area here, and then I'm gonna end the video because it's getting to be pretty long now. You guys like this. I'm not happy with this area right now, but it is what it is. These pencils, I might go in and erase that, a little bit of that a little later. We'll see. It's gumming up a little bit. I hope you guys enjoy me coloring and chit-chatting. I don't do that very often, but I want to start doing that more on this channel, coloring and chatting, because that's a way for y'all to get to know me as well. So, all right. I think we're going to be done with that. All right, so zoom out. That is the first part of my mushroom. So video number 2 will be focusing on this area here, this part of the mushroom, not the little flowers, but just this part of the mushroom here. All right, so until next time, y'all, take care.